Welcome to today's home hint from Border Home Inspection. In this video I want to talk about roof structure, about lots of things, but the code for instance. As home inspectors we don't inspect code, and you have to be careful as a home inspector not to start quoting codes and stuff like that that is common today when you're looking at an older home like I'm in today. So I intentionally avoid the use of the word code in my inspections because that's not what we do. If you want a code inspection when you're building a new property, you have to hire the people that are qualified, the people that are trained to do specific things. For home inspectors, we're generalists and we don't inspect a code. But I wanted to talk about the code just a little bit anyway in this inspection. Try to get the lighting just right here. When you built a house, this house I'm in today, it says 1965. I wondered if it's not older than that, but they didn't have any real standards. You know, carpenters did things a certain way. Some were really good, some were amazing. Others were backyard, mechanics that said, well, I can build a house. And the backyard mechanic style person might be the person that built this house, for instance, didn't do it the way that the carpenter did it, the tradesman. But that doesn't mean that it's going to fall down. And when it comes to the code, you want to buy a house that's been code compliant if you can afford it. But I mean, this person buying this house is buying an older home because that's what they can afford. And when I look around, I say, well, that would never meet today's standards. But this is a 70 or 80-year-old home, and it's been standing perfectly fine for all those years. So my point in today's video will be, some people will call and say, well, if it doesn't meet code, then I'm not interested. Well, if it's been here for 70 years and is built wrong, let's say, not built to any kind of a standard, then that's fine. It's been here for a long, long time. If you look behind me, you can see the spacing on the top cord of the rafter here. It's like 3 feet apart, and it's got old siding on there that was probably used off an old granary bin or something. So if they did that today, we'd say that's not acceptable, right? Because we have standards. We have people telling us how we should do everything today, which is another topic. But and I'm not against the code. The code's there to protect people. But if you're looking at an older home, don't try to hold it to today's standards, because it's not going to match today's standards. There's no way. So look at it and say, well, how well has it held up? And that's really what we want to look at here. I'll just give you another view here. So, again, it's used lumber. Wouldn't allow that today. Doesn't have stamps on the 2x6s. Wouldn't allow that today. And there's nothing wrong with the code. And again, the code today protects people, right? The buyer. And it's my job to point out that, these things are different, but looking at this, it looks very typical for the age of the property that it was built in. So you get what you pay for, but just because something's not done exactly the way that the standard says, doesn't mean that it's going to fall down or that's unsafe or unhealthy. So, there's building practices today that are better than what you see here. No question about it, with air quality and stuff like that. But not everybody can afford a $400,000 house. So if you're the person that is thinking about buying a house that is like this, then get a home inspection. And, if you're worried about code fractions, talk to your home inspector about that. Because if they're like me, they'll tell you that there's 20 ways to do something, only one way to do it to code, let's say, but 15 of those ways are going to be fine, or probably will be fine. And when you have a house that's 75, 80 years old, and it's still in great shape, and the structure still looks nice and straight, and there's no particular concerns that way, then guess what? It's one of those 15 ways that they did it, and it's fine. So that's today's thoughts. I debated doing this because it'll be a bit controversial. Some people will say that I shouldn't be talking like this, but as a home inspector, it's here to protect my customers and give them some practical advice. And the videos that I do in my report and on LinkedIn and various platforms like YouTube, they're just my advice. So you can take it for what it's worth. It's free, And hopefully it's given some of you something to think about. Thanks for watching.